might notice I am in a different setting. I am in a whole different part of the country. I am actually visiting my grandmother right now in the lovely state of the greater Louisiana. So it's famous for a lot of things. Um, fried food, fried food, more fried food, um, music, fried food. Anyway, so this month is the start of month 8. Somehow 8 months this has been able to kind of go on, and I hope it goes on for another 8 months, which would put us at 16 if my math is correct. Anyway, I think it is. If not, you guys tell me later. So I got 2 amazing guests today, and one is actually in the state that I'm in, and the other one is in the lovely greater northwestern area of the park where I normally reside, but not currently right now. So instead of you listening to me run my mouth, let's get this show started. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our first guest who is checking out from New Orleans, Louisiana. That is Kimberly Patton. Kim, how you doing, girl? Where you at? What you doing? Let's get this thing rolling.
Okay. I'm starting my video. Hopefully science is working. Can you see me?
I can hear you, so that is almost as good as seeing you, but I'm guessing your video will come in now.
Is it?
No, I
Here?
can hear you. So, so this is the beauty of Home Bars Live. Oh, bam, there it is.
Hey. Yes. How you doing?
I'm good. So, first and foremost, hello.
To see you in my state.
Thank you for inviting us in. Thank you for inviting us in. So the show is Home Bars Live. So you want to give us maybe a little tour of your setup, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to turn this around. Now, can you see like a whole bunch of crap?
Yes.
All right, then we can do this then. So basically, I've got a ton of cookbooks that I don't use anymore because now I'm a Pinterest whore. And then I've got all my crystal and stuff like that. That is my grandmother's crystal. A whole bunch of swizzle sticks up there. Hopefully you can see those. Some weird decanter thing right there. These are some antique shakers. And that filter bottle right there is from where my husband used to work in New York, called Time Cafe in Fez, which was on Lafayette Street, and that's where the Lafayette is now. Some random shit I bought in Mexico, and then all of my stuff and my very small bar right now because I drank it all. I actually, the only reason why I have this much booze right now is I'm taking a whiskey steward certification with Brown-Forman. That's why, I got a whole bunch of Brown-Forman brands. I guess you can see there. All of my tacky magnets. And these are my Peter Max pillows I've been collecting since college. And this is my glassware. So I've got a bunch of Star Wars and Muppets glasses, Don Ho, the necessary things, and swizzle sticks and creepy lime green baby.
So can you actually grab maybe like one of your Muppet glasses? I would really love to see one if possible. Yes.
I'm like, let me see if I can find this one is one of my favorite ones. The Happiness Hotel. These were all at McDonald's. We collected these. These are actually my husband's. There's even a couple of Smurf ones in here too.
So you know it's crazy? We'll talk about that in the interview because I want to talk about the cool gifts that McDonald's actually used to give you as a kid that they don't do anymore.
Man, they were awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now it's kind of like Cracker Jack prizes. They all suck now. So that's basically my home bar. So just some flasks, including that one from Portland Cocktail Week a million years ago.
Sweet. That's a nice little patch you got there as well too.
Oh, I love it. This is just our kitchen, and there's a courtyard right down there. Perch, of course. just random shit. So
Nice.
I have a bunch of random shit. In a past life, I actually, sorry, I'm going towards my living room now.
Okay.
In a past life, I ran a toy store for 6 years. And
that's awesome.
Sorry, my husband's in the living room. I'm gonna wait till he goes. But so that's why I have a whole bunch of random shit. It was the Enchanted Forest. The Enchanted Forest, and it was a Mercer between Spring and Broome. And I was the manager and buyer there for 6 years. I never have made less money and never been happier. If I won the lottery today, I would reopen that toy store. It was amazing.
Well, I mean, to actually, so let's do this, because I think we are on a very, really awesome theme right now. We're going to talk a little bit about toys. So first and foremost, I completely agree with you. I think that one of the things being kids, and I would, love to hear your thoughts on this. Being kids, we had the luxury of having like KB Toy Store. We had Toys R Us. We had, like, even when you went into Walgreens or like the thrift store, Thrifties or Piggly Wiggly or whatever store you went into, there was always a section that had the G.I. Joes, the Barbies, the weird puzzles, and now, you go in there and it's something that shoots a projectile that'll take your eye out, or it's some random like toy that you're like, no kid's gonna play with this. Like, don't you miss those days of just like good toy stores?
Well, the thing is, and this is one thing that I really loved about that toy store, and I would love to bring that back. We didn't really do electronic toys or stuff like that. It's a place where you could come in and you could get a little 50-cent finger puppet or an $1,800 kaleidoscope. So it was a whole bunch of stuff, and it had a huge tree and a fountain and a bridge where we kept all the puppets and all that. And I think that's what we're missing now, is we're missing discovery. We're now so pinpointed. It's like, if you're looking for a certain toy, you go on Amazon and you search for that toy. And then you're in an algorithm that tells you what you would like. There's no discovery anymore, which I find to be quite sad. And that's what I really loved, and it's like bookstores. How many times did you go into a bookstore and you went looking for one thing and you came out with 6 things you never thought you would have bought? And it's just kind of that type of thing that I think we're missing. And I still have a huge collection of kaleidoscopes, which are really difficult to show. And that's what I really loved about kaleidoscopes, is they're all so unique, and also whatever you're looking at, no one in the universe can see it. It's all yours. It's something completely personal. So because it all changes in a different way, and it's just a little eye vacation. So,
I think you touched on something that's really, really kind of cool. And one of the things I love about this show in general is that often these conversations start off with super random things, but they have a very unique kind of theme. And I think that when you talked about kaleidoscopes and kind of how it is different for everyone and how it is a unique thing for each individual, I think we've also lost a lot of our individuality with things that, before, being cool or fitting in has become such part of just groupthink mentality that I think we've kind of lost some of our weirdness. And some of that weirdness has kind of is not celebrated how it was when we were kids. But yeah, I just want to hear your thoughts on that, actually.
It's we're so concerned with the amount of likes and this, that, and the other, and it spills over into our business. We have to have an Instagram account and a Twitter account and this, that, and the other, and you have to check for all your likes and this and that. Sorry, I'm going into the other room.
That's okay.
There it is. Oh, sorry. Yep, there's my husband's going out. So
bye, husband.
He does exist. This is actually what I've been working on for like this entire quarantine. all my little creepy cross stitch pillows and stuff.
Ooh.
I know. So a lot of this stuff that you're seeing now, like including that little guy, these are all shit from the toy store that I bought. That dragon dude, and then just random toys. Most of the shit that's up here. Obviously, I'm still a failed goth. And and oh yeah, this is actually one of the prize collections. Is I've been collecting Edward Gorey since I was 10 years old. So I've got a whole bunch of Edward Gorey, and my husband gave me the Salvador Dali thing for my birthday this year, and an old crow thing, and this weird fucking Mongolian puppet my dad won in a golf tournament. Okay, so my dad's a weirdo.
You definitely have a traditional, like what I would expect to see in a New Orleans or like in a house, especially in Louisiana. There's always like that one thing in the room that you don't want to sleep next to because you don't know if it's going to be standing over you in the middle of the night saying, "Wake up."
Oh yeah, the Mongolian puppet. Definitely. What's really strange is see this painting right here of the mask and the beads and all that.
Yeah.
So my husband and I got married in 2004 in front of the Wonder Wheel at Coney Island because we're fans of The Warriors, that wonderful movie. And all of our friends showed up without telling us, dressed up as the holidays of the year. And one of the girls dressed up as Mardi Gras, and then it became a gallery show of photographs and paintings from the wedding. And so that painting my husband bought for me, and that was before we even visited New Orleans. So
awesome.
I guess we were meant to be here, but definitely. So here's actually Esplanade Avenue right here. So out on the balcony. So, ooh, where's my cat? There she is. Okay.
So for all of you at home that are either in the Pacific Northwest where it's probably wet and rainy, or you're in San Francisco right now where it's not so nice, we're both in a state to where it's November and it feels like summer. So I don't know.
This actually feels like fall to me. So it's like I get pissed off if I have to put on a sweatshirt nowadays.
I landed yesterday and I was wearing shorts and it was like 60 degrees outside, and my grandmother was like, "Are you crazy?" I'm like, "Yo, in San Francisco, you'd be almost in a summer dress in 60 degrees. Like, this is a beautiful day."
Oh, it's gorgeous out today. I can't wait to take a walk later. But that's actually what you were talking about, the McDonald's toys and stuff like that too. Those were so cool. When you got a Happy Meal and got a real fucking toy, it was the best. And it's like Cracker Jack toys. And then somebody said that LSDR was on something, and then they ruined all the toys for that. But we're have you noticed that you don't see kids with broken limbs anymore?
Yeah, well, I think
they all have carpal tunnel now. It's like we go outside and do dumb shit. Our parents would say, you go outside and then you come in at dinner and you're like, I don't want to go outside. And then by the time they call you in for dinner, I don't want to come in for dinner, because you're out there doing dumb shit. You're discovering stuff out of trees and this, that, and the other. And that's how you learn stuff. It's like, you touch a stove, it's hot. Don't do that. That's why, I think when I see, 3-year-olds at restaurants and they're just looking at tablets, it makes me so sad. And this is, I think, why there's even more and more of a disconnect with servers and bartenders, because that's how kids are learning now, is just keep your head in the tablet, ignore the person refilling your water.
So I actually want to stop you right there. That is something that I would wonder if we started to study right now. Because I think that's really interesting, because I think people forget the conditioning that we also learn when we're young and in our youth. But I think you bring up a really great point. I think that will probably play a future role in someone's idea of how they look at someone, because I can tell you, if I'm completely oblivious to something, growing up, then I'm expected to pay attention to it as an adult. That would be kind of hard for me to do.
Yeah.
What was one of your favorite toys that you got out of the McDonald's prizes? Give me your top 3 favorite one that you can remember.
I loved those sticky octopuses that would lose their sticky after like one throw on the wall. So I loved those, and I liked the ones that you had to put together, which is a nightmare nowadays. It's like you're not allowed to have tiny little choking pieces.
Yeah.
I loved that because it also occupied time, and you had to keep thinking about how to put these things together to get the car or whatever, the doll or whatever it was. So those I really liked. I liked the ones that you had to put together, and getting those glasses, that was super dope. That was a big deal back in the day. It was just all the ones that you really had to do something with.
Yeah.
And you ate it and all that. And so those were kind of my favorite ones. And my husband, he when we first met, his daughter was 2. So I mean, divorced dad's paradise is fucking McDonald's. So his little 2-seater car in the back, it was just covered in McDonald's toys. So yeah, it's those were really fun. Now it's just like, it's purchased with, and it's, they're just not fun anymore. I'm waiting for them to give little thumb drives to kids.
Yeah, that's gonna be the next thing. Like, oh, put this in your tablet. So I feel like you're wearing a Ron Barlito shirt.
I am.
So will you talk a little bit about that experience on the island?
It was beautiful, and that was when I turned 45. Also, on the night in which you walked backwards into the ocean. Did you guys do that your year?
I don't remember.
It's kind of it's a Puerto Rican tradition, kind of like a New Year thing.
I'm sure we did, but I don't remember.
And you literally, there's a little bit of ritual involved and everything, and then you walk backwards into the ocean to kind of wash away the past and go to the future or whatever. So that was amazing. The Bio Bay, that still is one of the magical experiences of my life. I mean, if you ever want to feel like a fairy princess or a mermaid, that's your shit. I just found out that platypuses bioluminesce. They bioluminesce. Yes.
Hold on. I gotta call my guy Dave Attenborough real quick. Hold on. Hey Dave, did you know platypuses bio? What? Tell me more.
Yeah, just found this out. They bioluminesce under black light. It's one of the only animals that does it, and they don't know why.
And they're poisonous too.
Yeah, they that's some fucked up shit,
Platypuses no, that's actually kind of cool. Think about it, right?
Oh yeah.
So I guess in some ways they're like a poison dart mammal because they light up at night. So saying, "Don't touch me. I'm gonna hit you with the thing. I'm gonna hit you with the thing."
Yeah. Don't fuck with the platypus, but I'm not fucking with anything really. Australia has spiders the size of my fucking arm. I ain't doing it. Nope.
So for people that don't know what a Nutra rat is, because if you haven't been in the South, you might not know what that is. Can you explain what a Nutra rat is to people?
Nutria are huge, and they tried to really develop them during fur trade and all that kind of stuff. And then they just, like any other invasive species, they went nuts. They are big ass motherfucking rats. They look like capybaras. They're about as big as a capybara too. And they've got these long ass teeth. They're literally about that long. And they get orange because they gnaw in wood, kind of like beavers and stuff. And so the tannins in the wood stain their teeth. Which is why they bleach toothpicks. Yeah, they are an invasive species. A lot of people eat them. I have not tried Nutria yet. I imagine it's probably like squirrel or any of that kind of stuff. It's just probably something super tough and needs to be braised and put a bunch of spices and a lot of alcohol. But yeah, they're huge. Yeah, Nutria are yeah, they're greasy. Ugh. No, I'm good.
So everyone at
No,
home,
we've got enough weird shit to eat.
my producer Chris Dempsey has just informed us that they are greasy, which I'm not surprised Chris is eating one because Chris is an adventurous human. But as before we get out of here, for this portion of the interview at least, I wanted to ask you, if you were to have a concert and you were able to pick your opening act, your mid, and your closer. So mind you, I want to give you a couple of parameters here.
Woo!
It could be living or dead.
Okay.
You can have a super group if you want, whatever you want to do. But this is your concert, and you got to pick 3 separate acts.
My whole thing is like, who would be the opener of all these? So Duran would have to be the closer for me. That I went to all girls schools all my life, so they were all I had. So so, and I have a Duran story I'll tell you when you're on my balcony this week. So it's hilarious. So when Kim met Duran, and John Coltrane would definitely be one. And ooh, that's tricky. Probably, I'm such an 80s kid. Adam and the Ants.
Heard. So we got Adam and the Ants, Coltrane, and Duran.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool if I do say so myself.
Weird one.
So first and foremost, I want to say thank you because it has been great getting a chance to chat with you as well as introducing you to everyone that doesn't know you. Now stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We're going to bring you back a little bit later for the wrap up. But in the meantime, I'm going to say I will see you later.
Bye.
So as we roll on with Home Bars Live, we're going to be rolling into our next guest, and that is Miss Mindy Kucan, who is an amazing bartender, a good friend of mine, and she's actually in the Pacific Northwest, so she might be able to give us an idea of kind of what the weather is like up there. Hello, Mindy. How you doing, love?
Hey, y'all. How's it going?
Good. So, as I said, you're in the
have a buddy
Pacific
here.
Northwest. You're gonna give us a weather update. Is it raining outside? Is it what's the weather like?
Oh God. Yeah, it's overcast. It's dreary. And it's about like high 40s, low 50s.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
That sounds about right. So,
yeah, it's pretty miserable out there.
So first and foremost, thank you for joining me. Thanks for coming on the show.
I'm
Correct. You are still in Portland, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So this is Home Bars Live. So let's get that out of the way. Show us the good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So we're in my kitchen. My apartment is very small. My kitchen's a pretty good size, but it is still kind of, I utilize every single bit of space. You can see I have a Metro rack on top of my refrigerator. That's going to have, that's where my backup is. So I normally drink box wine, and I don't care if it's like supposed to be chilled or not. It just lives right there on top of the fridge. I don't care. But I also have like this amazing backup of White Claw. It's like in this shelf here. Just casual, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the claw on deck, got the box on the ledge.
Yeah. So it's pretty special. It's I don't really drink White Claw that often. I was drinking it when it was really hot. And then I have another part. I have a garage, and that's where the bulk of my liquor is. But the stuff that I drink on a semi regular basis is all up here.
Nice.
But I started keeping I got this this baker's rack to kind of store my liquor and my wine. And
so
anyway,
what are some of your favorites you're drinking right now? I see you got some of that see you got that Don Q on the shelf that we were drinking the other day.
yeah, I got this guy in the mail. I had to support Miss Effie and Cleos. Oh, my friends gave me, I have some really great friends. They give me gift packages. So I have this gin. One of my favorites though, that's like pretty rare. Well, it's very rare. Here, I'll set this up here and then I'll grab it because it's just right down here. I also decided to start keeping my vinegars up here, so I have to kind of peel through that. My friend was a local distiller and she made her own Nocino from 2016.
Ooh.
So I have that with like a wild harvested black walnut. And then the same friend, she and I made absinthe together.
Ooh.
Yeah. Shh. But
so all of you people at home that are watching or listening to this, she did not just say that. Shh.
I did not. But yeah, those are my two favorite things that are like super, super, super rare and special. And then the last part of my bar, like I said, my apartment's pretty small. So I have to open this cabinet. My cat will probably join us because that's where the catnip lives. So here's my bar, like the rest, bar tools, like modifiers. Yes, this is a little bottle of Jaeger with my name on it. And then this is, I was assistant distiller. Oh shit. I was assistant distiller here in Portland at a place that closed last year. But one of our pet projects was we made an Alpine Liqueur, so it's similar to no, I'm sorry, this isn't the one. We made something similar to a Genepi. So this one has like poplar bud, Melissa, lemon balm, which is lemon balm, a lot of mint. It's like really bright. And then we sweetened it with white sugar. So.
Word.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And I think one of the cool things about home bars is that I think with us being industry professionals, people often sometimes think that like, you know, we have this huge elaborate setup at home or it's this. And one of the cool things about the show is that I've been able to show people that like we live just like everyone else. We just probably have a few more bottles and we just got to figure out some way to put it because, you know, it's not like just because we make booze, our rent is any cheaper than anyone else's.
Yeah, I'm gonna take us into the living room.
Sweet.
Yeah. My cats might join us, so just a fair warning.
That is perfect because on the show we love animals because animals keep us as industry people from going crazy most of the time.
For
because
sure.
Without them, we would probably not be so sane. So let's get down to the crazy nuts and bolts of this whole show, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hate to do this. I really hate to do this, but I got to tell a quick little story. So I was in Puerto Rico on an island, and I had the unfortunate task of going up against this young lady in a speed competition. Myself, Stefan Hubner, who is also was on the show and is a fairly talented bartender. I consider ourselves, you know, somewhat where to do. And on the other side was yourself and Laura Newman. And I can remember that we had to make, I think it was 3 drinks. And I can remember as I am building the second drink, I hear both of you almost simultaneously go, done. And I remember looking over at Stefan and we both had like that tear, you know, the tear that you see in like the commercials when like people don't recycle. One just rolled down our cheek because we knew that like, well, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about I guess, your time on the island, that experience, and then just when are we going back?
Oh God. I wanted to go. Okay, so I I was supposed to be in Mexico in March for a cocktail competition with Patron. And then the world went sideways. So yeah, I'm like, take me back to 2019 and take me back to Puerto Rico, or like
Oh, so much fun. So much.
yeah.
But do you miss, you were talking about kind of how the world is kind of shut down. So what have you been doing in the meantime? What has kind of been keeping you kind of going and keeping you grooving over these past 9 months now?
Oh God. At first, I've been in college for a little bit, but last November I withdrew because I needed a mental health break, and the stress of deadlines and stuff wasn't really working for me. So I took a year off, and in the meantime, like, the world went sideways and I got laid off, and this is stinky.
Hi,
Um,
Stinky.
so I was just kind of like, I don't know, because it was like mid-March when we were laid off. And I don't know, the rest of March, I was just like, what is life? What is existence? Just like, what am I going to do with myself? I'm a bartender. Like, I work in the service industry, and like, what is happening? And so yeah. So I had like a lot of rum in my kitchen, which is no longer there. Um, And I mean, there was a point where I was just like waking up and being like, fuck it, I'll just start drinking. And then I was like, wait a minute. Okay, I just woke up at 2 p.m. I am not going to have a drink for my first drink for the
Word.
day. I had to like make some kind of structure. So like, I made myself get out of pajamas. I did not stay in pajamas all day. Although I did wear like really comfy clothes, but it was just like I had my bed clothes and they were just for the bed, right? And so like I had to make these little rules for myself, and they're like, okay, if you're gonna have a drink, you have to wait until after 5. Even if you slept till 3, you're just gonna have to wait till 5 to have a drink. So it was just like little things like that I had to do. And then like Jason Luttrell started this. My cat's clawing in a box at the moment. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So I one thing, don't ever apologize for your pets. Don't apologize for anything going on in the background. Again, you are being kind enough to allow me and viewers into your space. So thank you.
Oh, of course. I was a little late getting on because there was a cat fight, and I was just like, you guys, get it out now.
That's the best apology ever. I gotta admit, I mean, it was a cat fight. There's no complaining from, I mean.
Yeah, anyways, it was loud, their tails were fluffy. They both get like roll, 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 roll. So they were making that noise. So Jason Luttrell started offering this course called Bartender is Business. And so I started taking that and just kind of like, well, like, I don't know, do I, like I have this idea to be a perfumer. That's why I started distilling. And I want to make perfume, and I just didn't really know like how to get started. Also, it takes money, which being unemployed doesn't really lend to that, So yeah, I got the rights to a couple websites. I haven't done anything with them yet. And then like I have an idea for a perfume line based on star charts, and be very like personal to everyone's star chart, but in an alchemical way. So I was like focusing on that a little bit. And then Maggie Campbell and Ashton Berry started a thing called Treacherous Waters. So I've been listening to that, and just kind of like, along with listening to all of Ashton Berry's like IGTV. She's so great and just so informative. And I learn so much when I'm listening to both of them at the same time, but then also separately. And then I love rum. So I was just listening to a lot of rum videos.
Nice. So
Yeah.
it sounds to me though that And I mean, I think one of the cool things is that I think a lot of us have tried to do that is you've gone back to building a structure for yourself, you know, and kind of not falling into the, oh, the world is ending, oh my gosh, you know, type of stuff, and being like, you know, that may be the case, but how can I continue to find victories every day? So I wanted to ask you, can we talk a little bit about your distilling days and also to the perfuming thing? Because that's, I think that's really cool. So you talked a little bit about the Genepi that you made. How did you get into the whole distilling aspect of it all?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I helped with the Genepi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, there was like a pop-up and it was like, the host wants to know. Anyways, the only thing that I helped with making the Genepi was the final process of it was picking poplar buds, wild harvesting poplar buds, and then infusing them for the final infusion. I got to help proof it, like add water to the mixture. And I got to help sweeten it to make it a liqueur, and then also color it with saffron. So that's the only. It was like it was like a year-long process, and then I was only around for like the last few steps of it. So it wasn't my formula; it was the distiller at the time. His name is Seth.
So excuse me.
Yeah.
I still don't think you should take away from the cool aspects of what you did do though. Now, I mean, I get it, but you still also added some awesomeness to the product. So come on now.
I
Come
know.
on.
I'm always like, what's the term where it's the imposter syndrome? Yeah, I'm like, I
But
didn't.
you're far from an imposter, though. You are like a double agent. Like you are very talented in everything that you do. So I mean, it's you're not sneaking up on anyone. You better.
Am I? Can you see I'm blushing? Stop it.
So anyway,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I was at Jalapele I opened Jalapele and I did I helped with the opening beverage program. And I was the lead bartender. I was the bar manager when we first opened, and then I was the lead bartender for the rest of my time there. And then I started college at the age of 36, which was 3 years ago. And I really wanted to, I wanted to make my own perfume. And I was like, there's not really like a career counselor for for melding, you know, our experience in the service industry and like us as bartenders and us being very professional and like having, you know, palettes and like understanding distillation, like taking all of those aspects of what we do behind the bar and then like translating that into like a normal everyday degree or career or you know what I mean? So I was just kind of like, I don't know what to do. Luckily, I started college at PCC, Portland Community College, which is like a 10-minute walk from my house. And my first advisor is, I shit you not, Andy Seymour's brother.
Huh. Wow.
So when I was describing what I do, he was like, oh, my brother's a mixologist. And I was like, that's cute. Where? And he's like, in New York. And I was like, oh, what's your brother's name? It's like Andy Seymour. And I was like, what? What? So I was like, okay, yeah, actually, yeah, your brother, you know, he can probably have that title of mixologist, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started school with this idea, and then like I reached out to Seth at the distillery. They were distilling kombucha. So kombucha was their distillate, and we were distilling that to proof it up. We had a spinning cone column vacuum. So anyways, I reached out to Seth and I was just like, I really admire what y'all are doing because you're, you know, distilling for botanicals and tea. And I would love to stage with you, spend some time with you, have like, I don't know, be an apprentice or something. And he was like, oh, we're actually looking for an assistant distiller. The timing's right. Apply. And so I did. And then I got the job. With no experience. I was there for about 10 months. And then the company wasn't right for me. The job was fine, but the company itself was just a little, it wasn't a good fit. So I left and got back behind the bar and then got back to school and just kind of, I don't know what I'm doing right now in college, but Here we are.
But I mean, I think the cool thing in what you said was that there were a lot of really cool things that you did. Like you took a gamble on yourself. You said, I want to try something. And the world often kind of works out that way, that when you put that energy out there and you're kind of looking for that whatever that next step is, it often kind of falls in your lap. So I mean, sounds like you lucked out okay, except for the world coming to an end, which we're kind of all in that weird boat right now, but I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Kim about some of her favorite old school McDonald toys. Do you have any old McDonald toys that you remember, like when you got, or when you saw it on TV, or you knew when someone had one, you had to go get like a Happy Meal for?
So, I have this weird youth where I have a sheltered life with horses, and I grew up with 20 acres and horses, 70 horses on our property. And at 13 years old, I was like managing our stables. My mom was the restaurant manager for Burger King. And she had managed fast food restaurants most of my life until like my early 30s. And then my dad happened to be maintenance at Burger King. So I don't specifically have McDonald's, but my mom would bring home all of the toys from the kid packets from Burger King. And we would decorate our Christmas tree with all these toys. So I had like the Crayola bears of different colors, like red, green, yellow, and blue. They had a series of reindeer, and it was like little beanbag reindeer, and they all had really long legs. But it was like Rodney Reindeer and his family. It was like Rodney and Rhonda and I forget the other names. And then I don't know if y'all remember the Alf puppets. There were Alf puppets that came with a record. Do you remember that?
Serious?
Yeah. So I had the chef Alf. I had the tiki Alf. Or I guess he was like a surfer Alf. There were like 4 in this series. So we had this like crazy tree. We didn't really have any ornaments. We just had all these like stuffed animals that were toys from Burger King on it.
If those weren't like really cool puppets, except for the Alf, especially the Alf one, that sounds like a really great like Eddie Murphy joke. He's like, back when I was a kid, we didn't even have ornaments. We had the toys from the Happy Meals. But the Alf puppets though, yo, that is so cool. Like I remember those, and I never had one, but my cousin did. I wish I would have had an Alf puppet. So if you know anyone, wink, wink. So to switch gears a little bit, so we're in a new era. It seems, we seem to have a new kind of regime kind of coming in, and we have a female vice president. So just what are some of your thoughts on that? Like how does that has to, I know me myself, I was just like about time finally, and also too being a person of color, and with her being from the Bay Area as well too, there were so many like rah rah rahs. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on that whole situation.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm super, super, super proud and happy that we can finally take a sigh of relief. And I think it's fantastic that, there's still some things that are problematic with Biden and Harris, but I'm like super, super, super proud and excited for the fact that Kamala is in office. There are just so many things that are just, I don't know, like from the suffrage movement to, women not being able to vote, that it's the suffrage movement, but also like having Black people being able to vote, like from in the like way back, and then like now we have a person that actually represents them like in the White House. I mean, I know Obama represents, but it's like, it's different because it's like, there's so many, I'm in a women's studies class right now, and there's so many intersectional things that you don't really think about. And it's just like really fantastic. I look forward to seeing well, how things are going to change to having competent people in the West Wing. But but yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be too political.
So I mean, so look. Okay, I'm wearing a shirt that says "Abolish ICE." I mean, it's not as though I mean, the beauty of this country is we should be free to say how we feel, and if you don't necessarily agree with our views, that's fair. I'd love to sit down on the table with you and talk about it, but in this particular space, you know, you're free to say what you feel, because if someone was on the other side of things, I'd love to hear what they have to say too. So feel free to, don't speak your mind, girl.
I fully support. I support BLM. I support the protests. I support anyone that isn't hateful.
That's real. That's real. I think that's the biggest thing right there. I think that's the bottom line of it, is if we can get past that just bubble of negativity, things will all work out, because I mean, we all kind of, our blood's the same color. I don't know if anyone's.
Oh yeah, my parents are in Texas. My dad, I'm pretty sure my dad voted for Trump this term. I didn't ask, but I know last time he did, and I was just like, and I mean, my dad's an immigrant too, and it's just like, I don't know. We have issues. I mean, no, my dad and I are great, but like, you know, like on this particular subject, it was just like, it was a lot and a hard conversations. And, I mean, it's one thing that like, you can be Republican, that's okay. But like, to support this person that actively is mean and intimidating. And like, I don't know. It's like, this is the first person in public spotlight that has given people carte blanche to be the nastiest humans that they want to be. You know, those are my thoughts and my feelings on someone.
And that's, and you know what? That is absolutely fair. You know, because you know we got to listen to both sides. You know, you can't make a sandwich without two pieces of bread. You know what I'm saying? You can't be like, okay, I'm gonna put peanut butter and jelly on this. And you're just gonna look at it like, where's the other piece of bread? Nah, that's your sandwich. You're like, that's not a sandwich. That's not a sandwich. So we can't make a sandwich without coming together. Speaking of coming together, so as we roll into the last, we're gonna roll into the last segment of this. I'm gonna ask you one more question. Then we're gonna bring Kim back, and we're gonna have a big wrap up, yell at each other, talk some stuff, and then everyone will be free to go and do whatever they have to do for the rest of the day. So I want to know, if you were able to bring back any TV show that's no longer on the air, what show are you bringing back?
Ooh, this is Mr. Mumbles.
Hi, Mr. Mumbles.
I really liked Pushing Daisies. That was such a great show, and it was such a feel-good show. It was about death, about this guy that had a weird like special power, and anything that was dead, he could touch it once and bring it back to life, but then he couldn't touch it again, and then it would die. And he like falls in love. His childhood like neighbor, he always fell in love with her, and he found out she died, and he touched her. And then she came back, and then they fell in love, and they couldn't touch because she would die again. But he was like a pie. He had a little restaurant called the Pie Hole where he made pies. And he would use like all that produce that was, you know, disintegrating and dead. And he would like, you know, a moldy strawberry he could touch. And it would be this beautiful, ripe, red piece of fruit. And he would put it in his pies. And then he would serve his pies. Mumbles.
So, okay, now I have a question about now you just said something interesting about this whole show, right? So if he touches the strawberry to bring it back, who's actually making the pie? Because if he touches it, won't it die again?
So like he'd make the pie crust, and he would get all of his crusts ready, and then he would like pick up his fruits and like put them in the bowl, like make them, you know, make it strawberry or whatever, like cook it down. But he could use like, he could touch the pan, and he could touch the spoon and like scoop that in there. and then
Okay.
cover it with pie crust. Yeah.
But now, okay, just bear with me on this. What happens? Does the pie crust die if he touches it more than once?
It wasn't dead.
No, that's real. That's real. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. So he could touch Charlie. His girlfriend's name was Charlie, I think. I think that's right. He could touch Charlie if she had on gloves, or he could touch her over clothes or over fabric, or
They just couldn't have skin contact.
yeah.
Oh, there's so many ways around that. I mean, come on.
I know. Mental damn. I'm kidding.
Word. Okay. So, thank you, Kim. Come on back in. Come on. I think we're right on the same track here. But yeah, it's because I'm thinking to myself. I mean, there has to be a way around that, because that would be like a pretty cool power that you could just like touch a tree and the tree come back to life, and then you could save Earth literally. You could literally bring Earth back to life. Be like,
I use an airplane, so I have that opposite gift. I'm scared to touch these in my courtyard. So,
Okay, so since we're talking about the idea of like being able to do cool things, I need to know. All right, Kim, we'll start with you. If you were able to have a superpower or maybe a non-superpower, what would it be?
God, that's really tricky. Not kill plants. I think the superpower is just, find the person who's the worst day and be able to touch them and boop, get rid of that. And that's including me. Hey, boo. So, one of my neighbors. So,
Mindy, what you thinking?
Being in forced isolation, I think my superpower would want to be how to make all kinds of food perfectly the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to make potato chips because I had a shitload of potatoes for my CSA, and no.
So potato, that can't be. Isn't that just like if you cut them real thin and you just stick them in a lot of grease, it kind of gets crispy? I don't know. I mean, I normally, you know what? Actually, we'll bring Chris in, my producer, because he's really good at like food. So he would probably be a good guide as to how to make potato chips. But he's gonna kill me for that.
I'm actually a failed Southerner in which I'm terrified to fry.
Mm.
Really?
I'm terrified to fry things. When I was a kid, my next door, when you're a kid and it's Christmas, you're showing your neighbors the toy you just got. My neighbor's kid, her mom had an iPad, was frying bacon, and it popped in her eye. And so I'm like, nope, frying's done for me. Nope, I'm not doing it.
Whoa. So I remember the first time I actually I fried chicken by myself. My mom was out of town, and I thought, I got this. I'm about to do this. So my cousin was visiting, and I'm trying to show off with my cousin and stuff. So I put the grease in the pan, and like I remember I was cooking it, and I thought it was ready. Pulled it out, wasn't ready. Put it back in, and I'm cooking it. And then I noticed it started to turn colors, and I was like, this went from fried to deep to burnt fried. So yeah, I definitely understand. And I don't know if anyone else feels this way. Isn't cooking bacon and eggs one of the scariest experiences in the morning because of the grease aspect? Because I don't know, like hot grease will make
morning is the scariest part. This morning.
Hot grease will make the toughest person cringe when you hear that popping sound. You're just like,
nope. It's terrifying. I ain't doing it. No. And I've got a full thing of bacon grease in my fridge because by law I have to. So, I cook everything with it, but I bake my bacon. I will not fucking do it. Not putting any sizzle. Nope. I
Don't put no sizzle on her hot dog. Don't do it. Don't you do it. So as we approach the end of our time together, at least for today, is there anything that you lovely humans would love to say to all the people out there that are doing whatever they're doing, whether it's where they can follow you for cocktail stuff, or if you got any cool words of wisdom, or you just want to not say anything?
I miss bartending. I miss everyone. I miss the banter. I miss the stories. I miss all of that. And here's hoping we can go back to it. Go figure. We figured this was a recession-proof business. So, yeah, I miss all of it. I can't wait to serve you all and to lift a drink in person and to hug you guys again. I miss hugs.
Word. Well, I'll see you in a couple days.
Yes, you will.
Mindy, any words for the people out there?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't realize how much of my social interaction I actually got from work until forced isolation. Luckily, some of my old regulars that have become friends over the years, they host, I would take care of them on Sundays at Halapele. On Sundays, we do a temporary Halapele replacement Zoom chat. We get drunk.
Nice.
But there are 2 of us out of the 10 that are in the service industry, and the rest are PhDs, and they all work from home. So only 2 of us are laid off, but it's sweet and it's lovely and I love it. But one of the things that I can say to everyone is just don't be too hard on yourself. And this is something that I tell myself every day is I have an exam. As soon as we get off this, I have an exam in statistics and I'm not prepared for it. I'm not ready for it, but you know what? The only thing that I can control is the way that I treat myself. And I can't control the grade I'm going to get, but what I can control is the amount of, time that I spend with that, and the way that I treat myself and the way that I need to just react like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's all I've got to say. Be nice to yourself.
And I think you touched on something important. Be good to yourself. Be good to the people around you, and everything is going to work out. And considering this has been going on for 8 months and I've been able to call on people and ask them to come and join me, I think things are going to be all right for all of us. So, thank you both so much for coming on and kind of helping me kick this off in the right way and the only way I know how, with a whole lot of fun, laughter, and joy. And I can't thank you enough. But we're going to be saying bye to all those people out there in the whatever land they're in right now, and telling them, where we're going to be. Same time, same place, next week on a Tuesday, baby. This is Home Bars Live. I'm your host, Maurice Brooks, and I'm on the road, and I will be seeing you all very, very soon. Until then, bye, y'all.
Dante.
Bye.
So I think we're cut, but here's the beauty of it, right?